Welcome back to ranking all the costumes in Smash Ultimate. This is a second attempt at recording this because the first time I tried to do this, the stream went down and we barely got through one costume. I will be redoing that costume just so I don't have anything left out. So to get you caught up, we left off at Princess Peach. Got her classic dress, it's very frilled, lots of details in Smash, and ultimately I ended up putting that up here. Quite fashionable. And that's all that we got through before the stream went down last time. So, progress. Alright, so now we were saying the gold dress is a bit much compared to the pink one. Like, opulent is a word, but gaudy is another. Very symbolic of royalty, but also maybe a bit obvious. And plus, like I said, she's already blonde. So all that yellow all at once is just something, even as someone who really likes yellow. I'd say she makes it... I'm between makes it work and not unwearable. It's really not unwearable in my opinion, it's sufficient. Still got the blue brooch that matches the earring, but I think that's the case in all the costumes actually. So that could have possibly worked better. Alright, now we have red, which, you know, kind of works. The crown changes on some of them. Right now it's just the parasol changing, but there's a couple costumes later. There's a couple costumes later where the crown does change. This one it's the same, but yeah, that gold accent matches the gold crown. It's not too much gold. And, you know, the darker color on her really brings out the, you know, lighter features of her face. Like the blue eyes and the skin. Like, upon closer inspection, it might actually be better than the pink dress. Like, she keeps the gloves white, so it's not all red. On the gold dress, she also had gold gloves, which was just something. It's more balanced. Oh, and you can even see, like, white lace around the neck. If it's better than the original, then I need to put that in peak fashion. Either that or remove the original down to regular stylish. But I'm not against putting this in peak fashion. We can reevaluate once we have all the colors done. Okay, here's blue. It's a very slightly different blue from her eyes and her gem and such. And I've been told all my life that you don't match light blue with dark blue. I mean, I disagree to some extent. I feel like in some cases you can have like a light blue on top and a super duper dark blue on the bottom and it will work. It's fine. It's passable. Just another color of peach. Do I like it more than gold? Yeah, I like it a little better than gold. I'm gonna put it in work. Oh, and I just noticed, like, where the red has the gold accents, the blue just has more blue accents. You can barely see the accent. Now we move to green, and the accents become more of a light blue. So that's decent. Yeah, a nice mix of light and dark. Whereas a lot of the blues here just kind of blend together, at least on the dress. You can tell them apart on the parasol. But on the dress itself, the shoulder portion and the chest portion, yeah, the white frill has been consistent across the board, and in fact it is consistent across the board. That doesn't change on any of the costumes. But it still helps that, like, the color is not the same as the rest of the dress. I'd put green above blue. Yeah, I'll say she rocks. It's either rockin' or stylish. It's a bit of a tougher call, but I'm thinking rocks. Oh, that's not visible on the icon. Where is that? Having a hard time seeing exactly which portion that is. Oh, then again, you said it's not visible on the icon. Alright, I'll pull that up. Oh, on the bottom, and then you get more of that light blue accent. Probably should have been looking at these instead. Because they show the whole thing. So yeah, that's the case on the blue one as well. I'd say it's a bit more pronounced on the green. Alright. Now we move into all white, and that extends to the crown. It's more of a silver crown on this one. You could kind of call this a wedding look. But it's not my favorite dress, simply because while all white kind of worked in Mario Odyssey's case, we put that Mario in peak fashion. But I think there was enough going on to make it work. But then here we also have Fire Peach. Yeah, this is all white with not much to make it stand out. Whereas Fire Peach with the white and red, it's the same dress, but with the red touches. And it goes back to the gold crown, but there's just more to appreciate in Fire Peach. And yeah, okay, so I figured it out. On Mario's Odyssey outfit, there's a red bow tie. Right, so there are a few non-white things in there that work as accents. And Peach is just straight up wearing all white like it's a wedding day. That's neat in its own way. It's a fine costume to include. Sure, if she's getting married, it gets the job done. I might even be generous and say she rocks the outfit, because they were nice enough to give her a different crown color. But then Fire Peach is straight up stylish. Which just leaves the last dress. And it's definitely more of a mix of colors. It's a black dress. And the piece around the hip is gold. And then so are the accents on the bottom of the dress and in the center near the brooch. And even the parasol has a black and yellow thing going on. And that's all while maintaining the white frills and gloves. So it's potentially the most yeah, it just straight up is the most color variety that we get out of Peach. That's not woolly Yoshi, that's crafted world Yoshi. There's a difference, that's like felt Yoshi. If it was actually yarn Yoshi, it would be much higher. Your fave is in the black one? Yeah, sure, call him fuzzy all you want, but we felt it was however low we put it. Alright, you know what? Yeah, I'm willing to put it there. It puts Peach in there twice, so that's a first for the stream. Also, welcome it. So, wait, where did we put Fuzzy Yoshi that's got you, so? He's not completely unwearable. We didn't call him poor fashion sense. Anyway, okay, so that's all of us agreed that Black Peach belongs in top tier. That brings us to the Echo. Daisy's original dress. It's okay. Like, it's fine. And I've never liked Daisy as much as Peach as a character design in general, but that's personal taste. Thinking it works more than anything. Okay, and then we get more of a flowery color scheme. Like, I don't know, the green and yellow just makes me think of flowers. And she's named after one. So it makes sense. Also, her brooch gets to change colors. I don't think Peach ever did. I'm pretty sure Peach had that same exact light blue brooch and earrings the whole time. Double check that now. Yep. No matter which costume she was wearing, but Daisy changes up the jewels. Gonna make things more interesting. On this costume, we get a purple jewel, which works well with the green, I'd say. But it's still not wowing me. But I have a hard time saying if I would prefer that to the original. Don't know that I would. This looks a little off somehow. Okay, so I think it's below the original, and you think it's garbage, so that's an agreement on somewhere in the bottom 3 tiers. But I'm gonna be a little nice and put it in the third to last. Okay, now the dress is all pink. Kind of like a copy of the Peach dress, but not, obviously. Clearly not the Peach dress, but like the Peach dress was pink. Like, okay, so I feel like pink doesn't work as well with the hair color. It was nice with Peach's blonde, but this particular shade of pink with that particular shade of brunette. But is it better than the original? I think so. There's a bit more contrast than just, like, orange on orange. I don't think you actually drove him away. He was gonna leave anyway. This is just me sitting on a computer dragging stuff. Hot Pink Captain Falcon, what did we say there? That one is not unwearable. See, right here. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Hey, half the fun of these is making people upset. But I have my opinion. Okay, Blue Daisy. I think the blue works better on her than it did on Peach. Because that bottom bit of blue is more purpley. So there is more color variety like I was hoping for, and then the gem is green. Green, blue, purple, like, it's all the cool colors together. And I feel like that works better with her warm colored hair. We're not judging the pecs, he has the pecs on all of them. Judging the outfit. I think this one's gonna be at least as stylish. By that logic, he would have to make all his outfits work. To appeal that because they think that only women look at fashion and they still associate the color pink with women, and so they try to market towards women when it's really just a gendered stereotype at this point. Alright. Ooh, right, this one. Oh, okay. I kind of like this one a lot. I mean, red and black, that's a tried and true color scheme. Although the one thing throwing me off is the brown gem. Like, upon closer inspection, I guess brown is just a darker red. Let's see, I still like it better than the original Daisy. I'll put it with the pink one. But I really like what they're going for with it, at least. Okay, and then we're on the purple and blue. I want to like this one. But I feel like this should work in some capacity. But these colors are more on the pastel side, and I don't think the Easter look is working for her. Like, no, a blue and purple. That should work. But I don't know. Definitely more on paper than execute. Trans rights are fantastic, although this is not exactly the trans flag since that's more of a light pink. Right, that top layer is more of a purple to me, so it's a little off from that. There we go with not the worst. As you might tell from my face, something struck me about this white in a weird way. So she's got a gold gem. The white is more of an off-white. It's not like that same level of white. I mean, you can tell from the frill in the center. Really more of a gray, actually. So if this is supposed to be her wedding dress type outfit, then why is it not more whitey? I mean, I've never seen bone. But I wouldn't call it eggshell either. Kind of thinking poor fashion sense. Based on that same logic, that if it really needs a wash that badly. Like, the idea of a white dress is not inherently ugly, so not pure bottom. Alright, and lastly, Daisy's take on the black dress, which has green on it. Okay, so where Peach went for black and yellow, she went for black and green. Now the gem is orange. Basically the same shade as her hair, actually. You put those side by side, those look very close together. Yeah, not my favorite. So, I guess the... So which Daisy did I like the best? Was it the black one? Oh, it was the blue one. Yeah. No blue. No black and red. I don't think it's as bad as this garish color set, which I put in that completely unwearable. So I can either put it on the same tier or the one above it. Yes, I'm gonna be here forever. This is part 2. Did you not notice the part 2? I only got through the top row in part 1. Peace, though. Alright. Daisy, down there. Ooh, let's move away from dresses and more into collars and stuff. Bowser rocking the chains. Here's the original Bowser look, but, you know, smashified. We got the black necklace and bracelets and shoulderlets. What do you call those? Shoulderlets. There, it's looking nice and slick. I'll take your word on that one, because I've never heard that word. Anyway, it's a default character design. You know, it's Bowser. Bowser is as Bowser will do. He's gonna rock himself regardless. Now we have Autumn Bowser. You know, his hair is changing color with the times and then, you know, the browns of autumn. Holy moly, the browns of autumn. Oh, how did I forget the word choker? I mean, choker's the one around his neck. But technically, Bowser is the choker. He's gonna do the choking when you get into the Smash match with him. Okay, so, like, this one is fine, I guess. Not the worst. Now we have Gold Bowser. Oh my god. Why did they pick a purple shell for this one? Why just so much yellow? I don't get this one. Really don't get this one. Next. Okay, now it's time for Christmas Path. We went through Autumn and Thanksgiving. Now it's time for Christmas Bowser. His shell is like the Grinch. I mean, green works better on him than whatever that shade of yellow was, I can say that much. And you make it work well enough. Oh, now we have Gangsta Bowser. Jokers are gold, and he's all silver. Alright, Bowser, you got that bling. Does this exceed original Bowser? Let me put them side by side for a second. I can't put them side by side for a second unless I move something. There we go, side by side for a second. I think so. I think actually, yes. Seeing the two together, I can see the appeal of this one more. So, you got that gold bling, you got the style. Alright, now we got purple hair Bowser. Probably the closest one to his original form, but he's got the darker scale color, the darker green, purple instead of red hair. Like The big secondary color combination going on here. Also, I just noticed his eyes have been changing color to match his hair this whole time. This one makes it a bit more obvious because it's a purple. Yeah, well, they do get points when they reference stuff from past games. That does make it seem better in my eyes. I think I'll put it next to the original. Not really distinct enough from it, but I think it works just as well. This is just Giga Bowser with red. And like, the green on his head is changed to purple, which is the exact same purple as the shell that they... Oh, that's always been the thing. They've always matched. So, angry Giga Bowser. To which I say... I don't know. Red and purple, though? Really? We've had this discussion before. Wait, this is based off Mario Golf? I don't know what the Mario Golf team was thinking, though. I like his hair color, but also... Yeah, it's a slightly lighter color compared to Giga Bowser's hair. Okay, is it as bad as the black one? I mean the autumn one. Autumn. Ew. Autumn. Just all blurs. I don't know. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Maybe down here? Is that where I put the autumn one? Yeah, it is. Yeah, we haven't had too many of those. And then, of course, okay, now look, I do give them credit for this inclusion being the Blue Bowser, you know, the original Mario Brothers Super. Not the original Mario Brothers Arcade, the original Super Mario Brothers. And I think this even gets referenced again in Super Mario 3D Land. I don't remember as well, but I feel like there was a joke about it there. He doesn't look bad in blue at all. Possibly up here. Alright, quick sip and then I'll move on. Alright, now we gotta judge two people at once. It's the Ice Climbers. If I remember correctly, all the outfits are just solid colors. Yeah. The gloves are a different color from what they're wearing, but I'm mostly just judging their solid colored winter coat. Otherwise, it's, yeah, their hairstyle. Oh no, actually, I don't think I noticed that before. There's different hair between the first four and the second four. Oh, wait, no, that's not different hair. That's just Nana being the front. I forgot about that. Okay. In the first four, Popo, the male ice climber, is in the front. And then for the other costume, Nana takes the lead. And so the hair looks different because that's Nana in the front, and you can see them swapping. It's been a while since I thought about which ice climber was which. Anyway, they're certainly dressed for their profession. But that's not the basis for their judgment. Alright, the original purple and pink. The blue and pink, depending on how you view it. I mean, it's a nice little fur-ish texture they have around there. I don't know if it's fur, or if it's faux fur, or if it's even any type of fur at all. The shirt looks furry and fluffy. Like, they even did a little bit of blush on their face with the makeup. The gloves are very brown. That matches their hair. It's at least a rocks. Okay, now we have dark blue and light blue with the green for the gloves. I feel like I can work a bit more off of gut instinct with this character because there's not as much going on. Not as good as the original color scheme, they're less distinct. It fits in with the snow vibe, but I think a different costume down the line does it better. But absolutely not unwearable. Green and yellow with a pinkish purple glove. The glove color is what's throwing me off of this one. Two are more distinct from each other, but I don't say that the glove... I don't think that the glove works as well. But maybe on about the same level here, just for different reasons. Here's a dark blue and a light blue, where the blues are more distinct, and they've got these purple gloves to match instead of these green gloves. I do think that combo works much better compared to the other blue and blue set. I'll say they make it. Alright, and then we have, I think this is my favorite of the Ice Climber colors, yeah. This is my favorite of the Ice Climber colors. I like how right now Popo is wearing this grayish sort of blue, a lot more toned down, or like a tundra gray. And then I'm a pretty big sucker for, it's not exactly maroon, it's not dark enough to be maroon, but it's on its way to being that from Nana. This is the one that I would rank the highest of the Ice Climbers. And hey, I'm the one doing the ranking on this list, so I'm gonna do that. Now, there's not enough going on with the outfit for me to exactly say quite fashionable. I'm just gonna cap them at stylish. Alright, now here we have a bit more of like this is like if the Ice Climbers were hunters, you know? Like the Browns. Going on. It sort of evokes more of a, what's the word I'm looking? It makes me think more of like prehistory, cavemen, or maybe some nomadic thing. I mean, boring color combination is a fair criticism. I do think it fits the character, though, for like being out in the harsh wilderness. So I'm leaning towards makes it work. Not one of the higher rankings for Ice Climbers, but then I would be saying that it was better than the green and yellow and the first set of blues. Still not the last set of blues. Oh my god. We really need a new Ice Climber. Like, Ice Climbers need their Kid Icarus Uprising moment. Whatever that looks like. Okay, so this is like an inversion of the default outfit. I never really noticed until I got a closer look at it here today. But the glove colors on this one are actually different between the two. And they match the original color scheme. So Popo's wearing a purple glove instead of a purple coat. And is wearing a pink glove instead of a pink coat. And now their coats are just like this icy snow blue, and they're wearing the same color. So when I said later that there was one that evoked the ice and the snow a bit more, this is the one I was thinking of. Yeah, I do think it's a cute color, but I agree that they lose their distinctiveness, even though they have the gloves and the boots to separate them. But that's harder to see in the midst of a match. I might just put it right back up here, where most of the other ice climbers are right now. It works well enough. Oh, you were thinking of this one? Or this one? Because they're both a lighter and darker blue, which is kind of hilarious, that there's 3 sets of ice climber outfits where they're just blues. 4 compared to 2. Okay, so 4 is the one that I have higher, and 2 is the one that I have lower. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. By my own logic, it might actually be more of a this tier, and it would fall in line with the same reason as number 2. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Alright, and then we have orange and purple, I guess. I don't know where they pulled these colors from, but it is something different. It is more distinct, and I don't think it looks bad. So it's ironically more of a warm color for an ice climber, which they have tried to avoid on all the other costumes. Does it better? How about up here with the original? I mean, it's very close to the original. Because you basically just take the 2 tones from the original and you shift them by some amount. The blue becomes purple, the pink becomes orange. It's like they just moved 1 spot on the color wheel. So it works just about as well. Even the brown gloves move 1 shade down to, like, from really dark red that makes brown to just more of a red. Like, that's how I've always viewed that 8th costume. Alright, now a more intricate outfit in the form of chic. As usual, default character design is very strong here. It's an iconic outfit from, you know, but all the way back in Ocarina of Time, ever since. Why, yes, I would say that chic is chic. At least in the original outfit. We will see about the alternative costumes, but the original outfit for chic, it's really freaking good. I almost want to say peak fashion right away. But maybe it's more of a quite fashionable. Or maybe I should just put it somewhere and then come back to it later once I've seen the rest. Side note, you can wear a chic outfit in Breath of the Wild with the right stuff. I don't remember how you get it, but Link looks good in it. Alright, we'll move to here, but I am willing to come back to that one. Alright, once again, we're going to shift the colors a bit. The blue is the red, and the red is the purple. It really is just like they took like a little filter and put it over the original one to change all the colors by the same amount. And it wouldn't be that surprising, but I feel like the design team is a bit more intricate than that. On something like a recolor, I mean, Smash is a very involved game. Not as good as the original. It's fine, but it's not as good as the original. So, maybe a rocks. Oh, have they, like, actually said that they do that with the costumes? That quoted somewhere? I mean, I know for some they base it off other game iterations, but... Okay, I'm gonna need some help with this one. What's the... I mean, the overall tone is darker. But... Oh, okay, I see. So it is a darker shade of blue on the main suit. But it's also that the pieces... Oh, Breath of the Wild. That... Right, because that costume, as I said, is in Breath of the Wild. That makes more sense. Okay. Okay, so this one, the little platelet things on the shoulder and the side, they're also blue now. I kind of like it. I mean, this just looks like a slightly darker version of the original, which I already really like. You know, that darker blue on the plating has more of a denim sort of look to it. Even the little parts wrapped around her middle and index finger are a slightly blue now, instead of being more of a white from the original. Whee! And yeah, they are practically the same outfit, but I might give the edge to the blue one. We'll see. Alright, here we have the purple dye, and the Sheikah symbol is green, and I don't like this one nearly as much. And they're trying to do something with that purple and teal, which has come up a few times tonight. It's come up on both Daisy and Bowser. I'm gonna put you there for now. Green. Yeah, this works better than the purple. No, or does it? Hold on now. But with green, they actually change the wrapping. Purple, they keep the white wrapping. Do I like that better? I feel like the Sheikah symbol going back to red was a good call for this one. It does kind of evoke Link, doesn't it? Maybe that's why I like it a bit more. Oh yeah, actually, like, from a distance, I'm looking at the tier maker picture now. When I look from a distance, you could mistake that for Link, actually. Hey, where did we put the original Link? we put Breath of the Wild Link pretty high up. The original Link, though, is more like rocks the outfit. Or they make it work, depending on which one of those you count as the original. Yeah, this is basically the red outfit, but green. I could put it on the same tier as that one. Alright, now we have, like, true Ninja Chic, who also changed her hair color. Oh wait, I should say his hair color, to not, like, spoil games from decades ago. I mean, it's a fine outfit, once again. The light hair does add something, say. What's the tier above the one we just did? So right now I would put it in line with the original and the slightly bluer version of the original. Yeah, like, the fact that they changed the hair tells me they were doing a bit more than just the dye from Breath of the Wild, but certainly starts out as just the black dye. I think dyeing the outfit black was a pretty neat touch. Alright, now we have Gold Sheik. Well, this is going lower. Let me put that next to the purple and see how I feel about it. Purple. Purple. I'm thinking poor fashion sense. Look, I put it right next to the gold Bowser. There's a running theme here. Oh, that's so much better. Why didn't they... Holy... That's so much better for the red cape. Instantly better. Thank you for saving my eyes, Eve costume. Now the question. I'm gonna at least put it as high as the green and red. There's more going on this. Got the white up top. And then it's more like the champion blue in the center. With, of course, all the red and gold stuff going on. Almost looked like something out of it. I've never actually played these games, but I could see this being a bit more like Assassin's Creed-esque. Well, okay, to a degree. Yeah, okay, it would have to be Imba from not Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild Imba is very different compared to this outfit, but this outfit being based on Imba from any other Zelda game, like, that I can see. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. What if that's stylish, along with dark... The original outfit is fine and all, but I do think I like that blue dye slightly more. And would put it up a tier. This is nice in its own way, but it doesn't beat Costume 3 for me. Anyway, while we digest those first 5 characters, I'm gonna change the song. It's 5 whole characters now. The one that's been playing was the boss theme from Miitopia. Alright, I'll take a look at Assassin Sheik again in a moment. Let's see. On shall I put on next? That might be a bit much. Okay, navigating back to the menu. Alright, Assassin Sheik. Bump up a bit, and there we go. Alright, we're on to Zelda. I have very strong positive feelings about the default costume, so I'm gonna come back to it. Let's actually start with the red recolor. More of a grayish purple necklace with a gem in her head, or on her forehead. But this is another one where it kind of blends together. Kind of like how, oh man, what's that other character that, like, had... Like, where Peach's red dress offered more contrast, this inherently doesn't. But honestly, like, if I saw this in real life, it would probably look pretty nice. I'm gonna say, yeah, because it's Zelda, they make it work. Exactly. Okay, so, yeah, here's another case where the red doesn't necessarily work for the character as well, and then I see the blue and I'm like, why wasn't that done sooner? It matches her eyes. It's... I don't know, it gives me a very bee-like look to it. And I do know that a few of these are based on the goddesses, right? I'm pretty sure of that. And like, that should be Din, as fire. This should be Nehru, as water. Or love, I guess. And then there should be, yeah, there's a green one down the line for Furore. Or Furore. I don't know exactly how it's said. Don't know exactly what this purple one is. I think they just wanted a purple costume. Yeah, the overall Zelda design in this game, too. Yeah, they wanted to keep Ganondorf with the Ocarina of Time look, and they changed Link to the Breath of the Wild look, so they were just like, let's have Zelda represent this other portion of it. They technically said it was Link Between Worlds, but that is the same relative universes, Link to the Past, so same thing. But yeah, I think of the three goddess colors, that green and blue suit her a bit better. Maybe giving a slight edge to... Well, okay, blue they just add more blue. Green they add purple. With the jewelry. Maybe I'd even give the slight edge to green. Yeah, green, then blue, then red. So if red is... Did I not put the red somewhere yet? Thought I did. If red is here, the yellow tier, then blue... Oh, that's the original. Blue could go here. Green could go up in stylish. And there's this purple one. It's okay. Maybe at about the same level as the red. Alright, Dark Zelda. Possibly Hilda, if we're talking about Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds Zelda. It does look a lot like Hilda. I don't know, I've never been as big of a fan of the gray hair on Zelda. The dress is fine. The black with the purple accents, that part's not an issue. But I've always But then, okay, if this is based on Hilda, then she has gray hair, so they would have to keep that element. But my question is, does she look better with gray hair, or... I did play Link Between Worlds. I would call it more of a gray. Like, it's a pretty faithful Hilda. The one I put up here was green. How do I feel about this compared to green? Well, upon closer inspection, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, purple accents on the dress, blue jewelry, which, you know, matches the eyes. I do wonder how this would look if they kept the original hair color, but I get why they didn't. I concede. Alright, now the Twilight Princess color scheme applied to this version of Zelda. Again, fine, but it's never been my favorite. I want to say not unwearable, but people may differ. It's just a lot of brown. Because with the hair, you can at least see the entire outfit and appreciate it. And then with the brown here, it's all... Yeah, so again, I can see the argument for the gray hair being perfectly fine. And then I don't know if this was intentional. I don't know if they just wanted a white dress like how all the other princesses have white dresses. But I'm pretty sure this is meant to be her other outfit from Breath of the Wild, where she's like doing her spiritual training. I want to say that that's more what that is. Like, it's reminiscent of that, if nothing else. Because that was a very white outfit. Skywards. Oh, wait. Well, okay, so in Skyward Sword, Zelda was doing the same thing, right? In Skyward Sword, she was going around to do all the training and prayer and such. And in Breath of the Wild, she attempted to do much the same because that was her duty as a princess. That in Skyward Sword, it was her destiny and it was meant to work out and she was actually succeeding. And then in Breath of the Wild, it was like, my power's not awakening, what's wrong with me? That's probably why the outfit is similar. Anyway, as far as fashion goes... this is another case of fine. I like it more than the Twilight Princess outfit. I think I would bump it up to rock. Do-do-do-do. Alright, so that does leave one outfit that I have not put on the board yet. But, well, actually, okay, I did put it on the board by accident. I meant to put this one up here. Ah, bad. Okay, so the actual original outfit from Link to Past, this Link to the Past outfit that got translated into Smash Ultimate with this design, I really, really like it. I've always preferred it to even the gray hair one. Granted, I was kind of biased against the gray hair one earlier until we gave it a closer look, and now I've come around on it more. But when they revealed this new design for this game, I was absolutely in love with it. By new design, I mean new for Smash, not new for Zelda. Yeah, so in the one stream that we did before, I had put it in peak. I put it in peak, but I took it out of peak because then I decided if I'm gonna do more of these streams, then I should just keep doing the fighters in order and keep it organized. But yeah, the end of the first one, I had put it there, and I'm like, it's just a thing. I really like it. Alright. Mario's got his doctorate. Or at least he did back in the NES days. And it's been on and off with the practice. I'm gonna scan these first. I should start doing that. I'm gonna scan the outfits first and then start making decisions. I think that helped me on Zelda. We got the classic white doctor coat. And we have a red one with a green shirt and a gold tie. Blue with silver and green. Green with more green and purple. Black with red. Yellow with olive green and blue. Unlicensed doctor. That is pretty amazing. Purple with orange and red. And pink with more pink and blue. Alright, are any of these affronts to the eyes? You know, okay, so when you're in the match, and you're just mostly seeing the coat color, it does help make each Dr. Mario distinct from each other. But when I take a closer look at some of these shirts and ties that they chose, some of them are terribly poor. And I see we're on the same page about that. So I'm thinking that the yellow and the red don't really work together. I mean, the red one might work if you're going to a Christmas party, because those are all Christmas colors with the red and the green and the gold. Maybe in the right context. But yellow, I don't know where you would get away with this. But the shirt and tie are so not there. Like, there's so little of it to be seen that I don't think we can call any of them an affront. But I don't like it here. I prefer mono green. Oh yeah, like green and purple is a combination that can work sometimes. I think this mono green outfit is fine. But seeing that green tie on that blue shirt, I would not wear that. I've had to wear shirts and ties for jobs. Like, I was wearing a shirt and tie every day at my first job. And I definitely never wore a combination like that. I'm gonna say blue's not the worst, but the green tie is keeping it down there. I'm gonna go over to this purple, because the shirt is orange, and, like, that works in a way, like, people do purple and orange stuff with a red tie. The doctor's not having a good track record here. We need to prescribe him some better clothes. Okay, now, the white outfit, that's just a doctor outfit. It's got the red tie. It's all well and good. I'll bump that up to rock. I don't think doctors are exactly known for their style. mono green works. Black is... either black or pink is probably the best one on here. I mean, just looking at the black outfit kind of lends him this mysteriousness, and again, that name certainly helps it. And then the pink I also kind of like because you have that blue tie matches his eyes, and blue and pink are fine together. Nothing wrong there. I think most of us think of the black outfit for Dr. Mario. Like, it's somehow become the iconic choice for him. I will actually give him a stylish for the black outfit. And then I'll say he rocks the pink. Whew. We're more than halfway through the second row. Things are coming together. Okay, Pichu. Taking a look. We got naked, swim goggles, red bandana, whatever that is, the Team Aqua bandana on his head, not on his ear, an extra little tuft of hair on his ears. This one is Team Skull. Why do I not think it looks like that? Okay, we have Flower. And we have Fighting Headband. Yeah, is Pichu in a front to the eyes? Nah. Does he have any poor fashion sense? Let's say the goggles where they should be. That thing being around the ear, I mean, I guess it's fine. Okay, you gotta love Team Skull. Really gotta love Team Aqua. This costume baffles me, but it's not bad, it's just weird. I love the flower, probably my favorite. This headband, I mean, yeah, it's like a cute little thing. Like, oh, I'm in a fighting game, Mom. I'm gonna go wreck them. But, you know, he's only wearing one little accessory. This one. One with the extra black on the ear. Heart gold, soul silver. Huh. Okay, but it still doesn't make sense for Smash. I know they're limited in what they could do with the Pokemon because the Pokemon company is very stingy. But, like, they couldn't have thought of one more headpiece? Because I would hate to be in a match where this one, the default, had to fight each other. Anyway, is the default. I mean, okay, so I like the idea of the headband, but looks a little weird, like it's not fully wrapped around him. See the little part sticking out. I might say the headband is worse than default. Is the focus band? I really like the flower, but as far as a fashion statement, Team Aqua. Pokemon Sapphire is still my favorite game in that series, so it's an immense bias, but definitely Team Aqua. Is this the focus band or is this the focus band? I feel like this would be the focus band. I don't like the focus band as much if this is the focus band. Alright, I should start settling on where to put some of these. Wait, why are there... Hold on. Why does this tier list have 2 copies of the Pichus? I don't get it. One where it's all zoomed up on the head, and the other where it's zoomed out. And you kind of need the zoomed out version to even see the ear on the event Pokemon version. I guess I'll just use that one and not rank the faces. Alright. Default. They make it work because they're cute. Swim goggles. A little higher. Bandana on the ear. Just kind of works. It's only on the ear. The Team Skull, I don't like that as much. Not totally unwearable. But I didn't even recognize it as Team Skull, to be honest. Team Aqua moves up to stylish. I don't even want to call it quite fashionable because it's just a headband. But I love the headband. So. The event Pokemon with the extra bit on the ear. Probably about the same place as the default. They're mostly the same, just a little difference in the ear that is neither good nor bad to me. Flower is with the swim goggles for me because it's cute. And the focus band. I feel like you're more positive on the focus band, so I'll put it higher than I would have otherwise. Yes, definitely. For Scarlet and Violet, looking good in their own way. The gyms don't scale, so that's probably the one big disappointment with the open world aspect, but I'll get over that. I'm going with Scarlet version, since anyone else in this house wants Violet version, so that way we'll have both versions on hand. I really didn't care that much about one versus the other. So, the official website says you can fight them in any order, and that is still true. They won't bar you from entering the gym, but I think it's going to be treated more like Gen 1, because I swear I think it's also on the official website where I read that the Pokemon gyms do not scale in difficulty. So, you can go to any gym, but if you find the one where they're higher level, then you're going to want to have something higher level on hand. It's possible that I've been miscommunicated with, but that is what I got out of the website. Alright, now, we had a decent time with Fox's outfits. And some of them even made... No, one of them even made the peak fashion column. And Falco outshined his rival. Yeah, I mean, I was tempted to go with Violet, because I did think that Koraidon had a slightly better... Well, okay. Koraidon's design grew a bit more on me the more I saw the plumage. But I can see... Like, I had that same initial reaction to Miraidon. So I kind of thought I was going to end up going Violet, because I usually end up going with the second version. Ever since I was young. Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Sapphire, and then I skipped Gens 4, 5, and 6, but when I got to Gen 6, earlier this year, I played Y. Which, ironically, wasn't the blue one, which had been the running trend. They flipped it, where X was blue and Y was red, but whatever. Yveltal is still slightly cooler. Gen 7 Moon, because it flipped the time system, so I could play at night and still see Hawaii during the day. And then for sword, I actually went with sword instead of shield, because I really didn't like the shield's legendary design. We know 2 exclusives for each game. Those are on the website. I don't know if there's any more beyond the 2 that they've named, but I know that in Scarlet, it's the Tyranitar and Stonejourner families of Pokemon, and Stonejourner doesn't evolve, so it's really just Stonejourner. And then in Violet, you get Ice Q, which is that ice Pokemon penguin thing from Pokemon Sword and Shield. And there was one other. Like Scarlet got Tyranitar, Violet got... For some reason I can't remember. But it's on the website. Oh, they were never announced in a reveal. It was just after said reveals they updated the website, and so I poked around and there they were. Alright, scanning Falco's outfits, we got default, we got orange, we got this one, red, green, ooh, going all black, teal, and then purple. Alright, do I hate any of these? I think the red one is my lowest. Looking at the 8. The 3-4D. I can't tell if you meant 3rd or 4th because you wrote both 3 and 4. Okay, so I do see what you mean about the blending. They made his feathers darker. But he kind of looks like Revali without the jacket. But I do like the jacket. I feel like if the jacket was given to someone who had a different feather color, then this would be more well received. Like, jacket on its own, I'd probably wear that. But on Falco, with that particular shading, I get what you mean. Whereas this red one, not really feeling the jacket as much. I mean, the most I can say about the red one is that it matches his eye. Where he's got the red coloring around the eye. So I don't hate it. I just don't like it as much as the others. The jacket saves this one a bit, but not by much. Alright, so Falco. I'm going to put the red in not unwearable. I'm going to put the other one not unwearable, because again, good jacket. And then beyond that, there's also some blending in the purple one, but I'm a bit more partial to it because I really do like Falco with purple feathers. Oh, where's Game & Watch? And also, I'm not really feeling this particular shade of green on him. I feel like the darker green jacket works a bit better. Oh, looking down. Gotcha. Alright, so here. Oh, and what about the orange? What do I feel about the orange? The orange is good because it's a complementary color. Actually suits him pretty fine, in my opinion. Okay, so right, I was doing costumes 7 and 8 now. I'll put them on the same tier above the ones we just did. Because again, I like the purple enough to boost it up. This one doesn't have the blending problem, but something just... I don't know, it's very whitewashed. Alright, that leaves black, which is pretty sleek, not gonna lie. This darker green jacket, which, yeah, it's more reminiscent to me of an actual pilot, which is what Falco is. And so is Fox, for that matter. It's like, yeah, pilot's jacket. He looks good in it. And we have the orange, which is the complementary color, and then, of course, the default outfit, which you can't miss. Yeah, these other four are gonna be much harder to rank. They're not in the lower tiers. Alright. Let's say... I'm having a hard time. But I suppose I would say... Oh wait, has that been happening on all of them? Huh. I didn't notice this, but the eyepiece has been changing color this whole time. He's got like this greenish eyepiece on his default outfit, but then it becomes more orange on the orange outfit, and more red on the red outfit, more maroon on the black outfit. Brown like this one. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that would be the next one up for me. And then I think it would be a little harder to go between the green, the black, and the deep. What if I said... What if I said black was rocking the outfit? The green pilot jacket was stylish. And, no, actually, default stylish, pilot jacket fashionable. Well, quite fashionable. Oh, I didn't even see you type green is best until I finished doing those 4 things, so that's a nice little... That's a nice little confirmation. Yay! Alright, Marth. Default blue. Red. Green. Black. White. Lighter blue. Golden orange. Purple. So I know I just said how orange is a complement to blue and that kind of worked for Falco, but I don't think it works in quite the same way for Marth. We are talking about a different shade of blue. Costume 7, I'm actually thinking poor. I would not want to wear that combination of colors on that kind of outfit. If I was the one doing it in real life. Now the rest are a bit more passable. The other ones that catch my eye, or maybe a bit lower, are 3 and 4. The fine green, but with his hair. And then something's off about the black. Well, it's not really black. This gray, charcoal type color thing. What I'm thinking is 4 in not unwearable. Name with green, actually. Oh, okay. Is there more for me to see on these outfits again? Oh, geez, the whole cape under there is gold. Oh, and plus now I can see the boots. Well, that doesn't change my opinion on number 7. But it does change my opinion on number 8. Holy moly. Where's number 8? Bring out number 8. Remember how I said that purple and blue thing wasn't really working for Daisy? It's not really working for Marth either. That's such a start. Like, wow. I'm putting it next to the yellow one. Okay, now... Okay, the green one does look a bit better in the full outfit, I will admit. The black one I'm not as sure about, because they got the gold cape. Does it make 7 in a front to the eyes? Because that's the only place lower I can put it. Okay, what else have we got here? Alright, well then it's where it needs to be. Alright, I was debating the merits of the black outfit with the gold cape. Which is not as bad as the 2 that I put in the lower tier. Oh, I've always had a soft spot for white Marth. Like, Marth's white cape is probably the one I used the most back in Smash Brothers Melee. Like are we talking about the black one again? Because, yeah, I like it more than the 2 that I just ranked. I don't know how high I like it. Maybe it is a little better than the green. These are still like ish to me. Then again, I don't know, like the gold cape on the black does kind of make it. I will move the black up a bit. We can say that Marth makes that work. But yeah, I don't know why, but in Super Smash Bros. Melee, when Marth debuted, and I was a kid and I was playing Smash mostly for the single player, I didn't know who Marth was like a lot of people, but for some reason, I'd play him and I'd pick the white outfit. just a gravitational pull. Costume 6 is a lot like his default outfit. It's slightly different. It's kind of like Sheik's two different outfits, where one is more focused on the blue than the other. So yeah, this is like ARF Extra Blue Edition on the 6 costume. Trying to decide if that's a good thing or not. Also, the plating around the shoulder armor is more gold on the 6 costume. Whereas it's more like rose gold, for lack of a better word, on the default. More of a subdued color. Yeah, I can agree with that much. Mark's overall design is fine. I would sooner gravitate towards his default outfit than the black one. Which just leaves the red and the gold. Now the red one... Is the red one supposed to make him look like Ike? Because Marth debuted in Smash before... Well, Ike didn't have a game yet, did he? And then they put Ike in Brawl, which would not have been long after his game was a thing. No, wait, Ike was on the GameCube, but which... Oh, yeah, see, I don't know who Minerva is. You know what, I'm just... Okay, for a second I was kind of a fan of the red draping and then the purple cape in the back, but... Looking at the full thing and then going back to the profile here, the orange. I'm just now noticing that orange on the plating. And that's bringing it down for me. I wish I noticed that sooner when I was thinking of the lower tiers. I'm gonna put it in not unwearable. And seems like we agree that white is the best of the morphs. And yeah, it's a very formal outfit. I'm thinking like second tier up. Yeah, to me, this is Marth. This is the Marth that I know. I've played a very tiny bit of Shadow Dragon on Switch. Remember when they released that for a couple months and then said it's going away because this is an anniversary game? Well, I was stupid and I bought the game on the eShop. So, I do own the NES Fire Emblem. But I haven't played that much of it because it's an NES game. As far as difficulty goes. There was a special edition that was only physical. And that would run you $100 and you would get the game and some physical merch. But the game, even in the physical version, that game was still a download code. So it was restricted to the eShop and you had to buy it within that time frame. Alright, before we finish off this row, I'll do another song change. We're not done with the Fire Emblem universe yet. Oh. I almost skipped Lucina, even though I was just talking about how we were gonna Lucina next. Alright. So, Lucina, very Marth-like, and you know, that is for a reason within the context of Fire Emblem Awakening. Okie. So we have Marth Blue, and then I do know that her appearance is based on other units. I don't know all of them offhand, but I'm pretty sure this is... Wait, no, that's not anyone. Let me think. That's probably... I haven't played Awakening, so I'm not gonna know these names. That kind of makes me think of a Cordelia-type person. Was Cordelia Awakening, or was that Fate? It wouldn't be a Fate's character. And this is the same hair with a different outfit. This is very clearly based on older Tiki. That is... Oh my god. I know some of these names from Fire Emblem Warriors. Oh, Cordelia's the pink outfit, but not the white one. Well then. Okay, so Cordelia, Tiki. What is her name? She's in Fire Emblem Warriors. I've played as her. The blonde one. I don't know about that one, and I don't know about that one. I swear, there's a blonde unit, and she wears that same... Lissa! Okay, God. I thought it started with an E or an L. Okay, dokie then. Alright, so as I scroll through these pictures, I see any affronts. I would say, nah. Nah, Lucina's fine. Or do I see any poor fashion sense? That's a different question. Of course, if I evaluate the fashion sense of Lucina, I'm basically going to evaluate the fashion sense of whatever unit she's based off of. So, come after me, Fire Emblem fandom. Honestly, the only one that I might be thinking for a lower tier is Cordelia. Because when I look at this full picture... it's just... we've talked about blending. It's so much of that same shade of red. And, on my phone, it actually looks more like a brown. But, you know, it's somewhere between red and brown. There's just so much of it. I mean, it's not all bad, because you got the white portions of the outfit. That's probably the one I'd put the lowest. Maybe I won't outright call it poor fashion sense. Take that, Fire Emblem fandom, you can't hate me now. Now, the outfit right next to that, she's got the same hair color, but more of like a series of grays, and there's in the full outfit, there's this dark blue portion of the outfit, closer to where she's holding her sword. I don't know how I would safely bring that up on... I don't know, maybe my phone will just show it really well, because phones are really good these days. Also not huge on green-haired Lucina. Like, she's almost like a wicked witch. I don't know which character this is, but... I don't really need to know that that's just a lot of olive green. Not my favorite color to look at. but I still wouldn't put it terribly. Like, I think the outfit that she's wearing with the green is actually a perfectly fine outfit. Oh yeah, well, I mean, look, I also really like Tiki as a character. I grabbed that amiibo as soon as it came out with Tiki on it, and Tiki is the best girl in Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE. Of course, now her Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE appearance is based more on Shadow Dragon and not on Awakening. Because she's aged up in Awakening and she looks more like Lucina does here. In fact, it's actually a pretty good recreation of Tiki. Let's see. Where else would I put things? Number 8 is pretty nice looking. It's got these pale blues and purples. But where I think it works better than the other ones that have had blues and purples is that the blue is a lot more toned down. And for those who don't know, tone is like the grayness of a color. You can apply more gray to it and that would be a different tone. Or less gray. So I think they toned down the blue enough to actually make it work with that shade of purple. Speaking in terms of the 8th costume. Costume 3 is better than the Cordelia remake in Costume 4. Because there's more contrast going on in the outfit, but they're not that much different, so I'd only put it a little higher. They make it work just fine. And I would say they make it work for Lissa as well. It is a lot of yellow to manage, but it's decent. Alright, now, as much as I like Tiki, I don't like her aged up design as much as her Sharp FE design. If you haven't seen her dress in Sharp FE, it's really, really, really nice. I'll say she rocks it, but I'm not going to put it any higher than that. Let me see 7 again. Okay, you can't see it too well in the portrait in the game, but the 7th costume does have these gold touches around the wrists and the knees. I think the full outfit does boost Costume 7 quite a bit, when otherwise it would just kind of be this dark purple-gray mismatch. That's also where I was seeing, like, the blues in Outfit 8. So let me rank the default. Where do we put default? Marth rocks it. I'm gonna say Lucina's in equal footing on that. The female variant. Whoops. Okay, so then the question becomes 7 or 8? Okay, look, 7's got a more maroonish cape, and that speaks to me on a more instinctive level. To be like, my personal tastes are screaming for me to put 7 higher than 8. Oh, you like the Lissa outfit. And looking at it again, there's less yellow in it than I thought. Okay, so we can agree that 7 is higher up, and I'm gonna say it's quite fashionable. mean, I identify as male, but I'd wear that. 8 makes the color scheme work better than it's worked on any other character in this stream so far. Like, I really do respect it. Or I'm gonna put those. If we can get through. How much more do we get to? Okay. 1, 2, 3. If we can get through 6 more characters, then that's everyone who was introduced in Melee, plus their Echo Fighters in the case of Lucina and Chrom. Easy. Alright, now, Young Link probably shouldn't be too hard of a character to rank, because we did Link... no, wait, we did Breath of the Wild Link. Frick. Okay. I was gonna say, it shouldn't be too much different from Link, but actually, it's quite a bit different from Link. Toon Link might be more similar, but yeah. This is an old Smash. So we got plain green, plain red, plain dark blue, plain white, plain pink, plain light blue, plain orange, and dark Young Link. Where did we put Dark Link? We put Dark Link in Rocks the Outfit here. Does Young Link bring that same... I'm going to be super nitpicky here. Like... Okay, let me put these side by side. Hold on. I put them side by side right there. I don't think Young Link does it at... Well, hold on. On the page it looks. Let me see how... Let me go back to in-game. Okay. It's a bit more well demonstrated in the game. So, Link, in his dark form, gets the red eyes, and his pupils start, like, glowing. You see that light spot where his pupils are. When I go over to Young Link, they are going for that same effect, but it's not as bright, which I think makes it a bit less convincing as, like, this eerie, demonic thing. Like, oh, Link's got glowing red eyes, we're in trouble. Or, yeah, oh, Young Link, his eyelids are painted red. Oh yeah, none of his recolors recolor the shield, but Link's do. Not Pokemon Trainer, it's not your turn yet. So, as weird as it is to get this nitpicky about it, it's kind of the whole point of doing this tier list. Link makes Dark Link work really well. Young Link does not make it work as well. So it's gotta be on a lower tier. Does he still make it work? Or do I need to say that it's even lower than that? And actually, in Ocarina of Time, when you're fighting Dark Link, you are Adult Link, right? It's that timeline in the game. Young Link in that game never fights a dark version of himself. Or does he in Majora's Mask, for that matter? Or does he in Majora? I haven't played Majora's Mask. I forget. Yeah, so like, Dark Link makes more sense than Dark Young Link. I'll just leave him and they make it work. The rest of Young Link's outfits are solid colors, which is fine. I mean, he's still a handsome boy with that Hylian hair. So, this is really just what colors do we like the best contest for this character. The one candidate that I would maybe put above green, and I don't know if I would, but I do have a soft spot for Pink Link. One, because it rhymes, and two, because, I mean, pink. Orange is, in fact, a weird color on him. And I don't know if I'd want him wearing a white outfit, either. I mean, we're talking about an adventurer. But this isn't Mario going to the wedding, or Peach being the formal princess. This is young boy running around Hyrule Field. Which one matches the shield more? Wait, the cyan one has pants? I gotta even... Were they going for a Breath of the Wild Young Link with Champion Blue, and they gave him pants to match that? Is that what happened? Oh my god. You cannot escape the Breath of the Wild. No matter how hard you try. Okay, so the cyan one has more of an actual outfit. I like the color pink, and the green is like his iconic, usual green color. Yeah, wow, they really went there, okay. It doesn't look as good as Champion Link, though. So... I'm gonna put dark blue in work. I'm gonna put red in not unwearable. I'm gonna put orange in orange, cyan in cyan in work, green in... That wouldn't be a stylish. I'm just putting things in places for now. Talk about it in a second. White there and pink up here. Okay, so that means right now for Young Link I've got default green in stylish, which is the highest one that I put in. And then in the tier below that, I put my pink one. Underneath that, I thought Breath of the Wild Young Link for having pants. And dark blue, because it's kind of a suave color. And it matches the hilt of that sword holder. The sheath. It's called a sheath. Matches the sheath. And then I put red and white, because they're just solid colors. Like, there's nothing wrong with them, but eh. Put them in not unwearable, but like it is just a solid color. Does the guy guilty of wearing solid colors on most days of his life because they don't make clothes that really speak to him. And then orange, like you said, be the lowest. That's how I have them placed. If any of that needs to be changed. And we move on to his adversary, Ganondorf. Alright. Ganon. Purple Ganon. Blue Ganon. Green Ganon. Or purple Ganon. Green skin Ganon. Blue old Ganon. And whatever that is. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these color schemes are supposed to be based on Zelda villains. but I don't know Zelda that well to, like, pick them out. And, like, was there ever a blue villain, or is this just, like, oh, we have a blue Bowser, let's make a blue Ganondorf. Even though blue Bowser was actually based on something. I could theoretically see one of these being based on Ume and Kotake, or one of them being based on Goma, or... like, sure, there were plenty of Ocarina of Time bosses to pick from. But I don't know which, if any, they chose. Oh, really? It's not just a made-up thing. Seventh is Dark Link on Ganon? But then why is he blue? Yeah, this is weird. Anyway. Oh god, I'm losing it. Is this a case where the original is best? Might be. Third is original Zelda, Link to the Past, Oracles for first. Oh, Link to the Past, Oracle titles, Four Swords, Link between Probe. Well, yeah, Blue Ganon is fine. And then the 7th is just Blue Ganon, but old. You're right, but Blue is probably the one I would pick if I was not picking the original. Alright, let's rank the original and the blue one. For original, I mean, he's got style by Gerudo standards, right? Yeah, he definitely looks the part. And again, we're kind of viewing this in the scheme of Halloween. As far as the blue one goes, which do I like more? I'd still give it slightly to the original, but I would put them on the same tier, I think. And since the 7th is so similar to the blue, I'll just put it a little below. Alright, now for the rest of these. Alright. The green is more cohesive. Purple is cohesive, but I don't know if it works on Ganondorf. That is something. All in favor of color 6 being lower than every other. I almost want to put it in a... Is it bad enough to put in a front? Alright, this one is just like a grayer version of the original. A bit more like purple and red going on. Heat box that. And then thought the green outfit suited him better than the purple outfit. Second one is still a bit garish, not the worst. I kind of like it better than the purple on its own. Did he make this work? There, and green. Yeah, the green has the added value of being Link's color, like, that's the signature hero color. But here comes the big bad villain wearing it. So, like, if he can be smug walking around in a green outfit, then I feel like that adds a decent extra layer to it. That's simply because it's the villain of Zelda we're talking about. I am aiming for 4 more here. Mewtwo is more pick your favorite color stuff. Although this one is more like Shadow Mewtwo. And I don't know if Shadow Mewtwo was really a thing when this color debuted in Melee. But, you know, it's much darker. For Mewtwo, I can still see the tail and the groin area, which are the other things that have major changes when you flip them. But if there's something I'm missing, I guess it is all connected, so it is just the tail. Blue is fine. Which of... Are any of these the shiny variant of Mewtwo? Does Mewtwo have a shiny variant? I know there's like a couple rare exceptions where they don't get a shiny. Looks like the shiny one is like a greenish thing. Like this one. This one seems to be shiny Mewtwo. Ember stick. But this is more of a yellow-orange. So, yeah. The number 6 is representative of the shiny. Let me get a closer look at number 4. I'm actually going to use the picture. 4 is brown. That's what I thought. There's not too much difference besides a slight tinting. The main difference is in the tail color, except on the last one. Got the original fine, the orange, meh. The blue, not too far off from the original, serviceable. Brown, eh. This version of brown, more eh. This one at least represents the shiny. I like the darker blue better than this more teal version, and yeah, Shadow Mewtwo. Well, I'm gonna keep calling him Shadow Mewtwo, even though he's totally not. I'm gonna move Shadow Mewtwo up to Stylish. And the original Mewtwo up to also Stylish. Orange one, just eh. Blue one, rocks. This. What's that one? Still hard to tell from this image. That's supposed to be the blue one. God, the fact that I can't tell these apart is a whole different thing. Okay, this is the brown one. Like the dark brown. That works fine. You, I'm gonna call poor. And the teal one, or is, no, this is the teal one. Teal one works, and the shiny one also works. Mostly like Shadow Lugia. Yeah, but yeah, that Mewtwo has had these exact same colors since Melee, so Shadow Mewtwo from Pokken did not exist by a long shot all the way back then. So I can see why it's closer to Shadow Lugia, because that game was on the GameCube. And now that you say it, I see the resemblance. I definitely see the XD vibes now. Alright, we have 2 more Fire Emblem characters to see. Starting with Roy. Default. Orange. Green. Purple. Blue. This one. Pink. Gold. So, I will say that from the Melee days, Gold is the one I gravitated towards. I don't know why. But just like White Marth, it was like, if I played Marth, he had to be white. If I played Roy, he had to be gold. I feel like Roy makes the gold work better than some of the other characters have. But again, that might just be because I played him so much in that color in Melee. Yeah, if it's pretty consistent, then that's fine. Like, on some of Lucina's, we were missing entire colors without the full image. Like, on Costume 7, which I ended up ranking the highest because of the full outfit. Alright, so which ones do I like the least? I would say the weakest ones are 2, 4, and 7. Those are my gut reactions. You're saying 5 and 8 are not the best. So that leaves us with 6, 3, and 1 as the stronger one. I don't know if I'd say that I'd like 6 as much as 1 and 3. I'm a bit more favorable on the light blue. Maybe it's his eyes. Can't say exactly why I think this one is better. And like, look, as much as I played the gold in the Melee days, I'm not gonna rank it highly just because of that. It is still a very gold outfit on an already red-headed character. But I still think that he's doing it better than, like, Peach and some of the other gold characters. Oh, I was not looking at the back of the cape. I absolutely see what you see now. If you ignore the back of the cape, I like number 5 quite a bit. Now that you've pointed it out, though, I cannot unsee it. Alright, let's rank 1 and 3. I think pretty solid on those. Question is which one's better. B, perhaps? A default in stylish and 3 in quite fashionable. I was saying 6 is probably the third best. Four, 5, 6. I'm just gonna put it in the same tier. You gotta admit, the default outfit is still a little weird. So I think gold by definition is they make it work. Because I like it on him. So for some reason Roy is able to make that color combination work. For the light blue, okay. The light blue has that cape problem that you pointed out. I was about to put it higher. Not the worst, but the cape color brings it down. I'd be curious about your thoughts on 7, because for me it's just a lot of pink. But they do have the 2 different shades in there, like one more darkish purple pink, and then the lighter, almost lavender color on the top. I'm almost wondering if it's not as bad as the light blue one. Maybe it's just on the same tier. 4, I'm gonna put poor. 2, I'm gonna put poor as well. I think the light blue is worse than pink. So by that logic, I'll put pink on They Make It Work. Like, yeah, I could see that. Alright, we're almost there. Prom. Might need the full outfit for this one. I don't know if the pants are gonna do anything drastically different from the rest. But also it seems like these are the same characters as Lucina. A lot of these color schemes are very much the same as Lucina. Like, okay, so on this fourth one, it's that same sort of pale yellow thing that Lissa had going on. Okay, I guess there are more differences the more you look. But it just struck me with number 8. The reason I was thinking that was number 8. Because it's got this pale blue and purple thing going on, and then Lucina's number 8. Also had, like, well, you can't really see it in this portrait, but lower on the full body, there were pale blues and purples. Very much like these ones. You know, this game did not exist at the time of Smash Ultimate, but Costume 7 reminds me of Tyon from Xenoblade 3 because of the giant orange cape with the white outfit. And Tyon doesn't wear a cape, he wears a scarf, but it's a giant orange scarf on a white outfit. Pretty great. I mean, it's not my favorite outfit in Xenoblade, but Tyon is probably my favorite character in 3. So, of course, I thought of him. I don't know, a lot of these just feel... Some of these just feel too average. And okay, well, see, I don't mind 7 as much. I will agree on 3. I'd probably put 7 a bit higher than you, but I know some people felt that way about the new 2DS. Like, North America eventually got it, but Europe got the white and orange new 2DS after the original black and aqua new 2DS, and I know some people just don't like that white and orange combo. So let's start at number 3. I think it looks as bad in game, but then I'm not seeing much of it in game. I don't know. None of Chrome's outfits are really saying, "Oh my god, terrible. The worst thing ever." So maybe the lowest we put him is just not unwearable. Which one is slightly gray? Light outfit? Yeah, the collar looks darker. Well, okay, let me think about possible stylish ones for a second. Because, like I said, a lot of these just look average to me. The one the 2 possible exceptions. I'm looking at 6 and 8, but I'm leaning a bit more towards 8. I mean, I said it about Lucina earlier, but something about this color combo actually seems to work for him. And if you look at the full body image, I really like the purple leg. But then on number 6, you also have a purple leg. And it's like this nice dark purple with this black cape and, you know, and I don't know how to talk fashion, but which is exactly why I'm doing a fashion ranking that's spanning several streams. But that purple with that black cape is striking to me. But then you also have, like, on 6 you have the straps running across that I don't think matches well. Whereas on number 8, the coat is black, it's got these teal accents, the straps running across match the legging. It's an interesting question. Are those supposed to be bandages? It creates some asymmetry, but only on some of the outfits. On like number 7 doesn't really have that issue because both the legging over and the legging under are white. That's the most symmetrical one that we have. Anyhow, like, beauty standards are all about symmetry and blah 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 blah. I'm gonna say 8 actually makes the stylish mark for me. Number 6 can go right under. With the default, they make it work. Red certainly works. Maybe the rest of them except the orange one on makes it work, and then the orange one joins not unwearable. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so we can actually see the full spectrum of Crom here, I think. No, we're missing costume. I put costume 8 one tier higher, but then we have the full spectrum of Crom with costume 6. And then half of his costumes in they work, and then these two in not unwearable. Alright, and thus, we will conclude this stream with the most important character on this list, Mr. Game & Watch. Yay! Take a look at that style. Man, all black, that slim figure. Now, Mr. Game & Watch is ready for the runway. Never has there ever been such the perfect body. Okay, so like number 3 is that garish sort of yellow that's not quite yellow, that's also not quite green. Yeah, you know, it's kind of a mockery of my favorite color, that they couldn't even choose a good shade of it. There we go. Now, we can see these pretty well on just the tier maker page, because we're going entirely by the color of the body and the color of the outline. I mean, yeah, Mr. Game & Watch is wearing a very slim in black with the accentuated white outline. Possibly peak fashion right there. And red, yeah, it does commit the sin of like a pink outline. Indeed, indeed. Blue. Certainly in low. Where it gets more interesting is 5, 6, 7. Like, we got these bluish-greenish colors with these bluish-greenish outlines. 7 in particular is interesting to me, because it's probably the lightest outline, other than the white outline here. Even the white Game & Watch has more of like a gray outline. Ooh, interesting. 7 more than... I don't know, that the default is iconic and black, and this is like... I mean, it stands out. I'm willing to put it higher up, but I don't know if I can top the black one. Oh, I'm not that. When I said black was peak, that was a joke. This is a solid color we're talking about. But like by real life standards, probably would be. And that's sad. That is it. That's immensely sad to think about. Again, white's not unwearable. It is white after all. Put that green one a bit higher. Yeah, we can call it quite fashionable. You know what? I think we can say the same for the default. The middle on the same tier there. Blue works. It's these teals that I'm a bit more torn on. Not the worst. For some reason, the number 5 reminds me of, like, Microsoft Office. Where, and then the lighter one, that's all we got left. I mean, it's a lot more in your face. I think it's actually poor in the same way that the red is. Oh, you think the side... Wait, which... I don't know, like, the cyan is just super bright. And while I probably like the color more, number 5 is easier on my eyes. But it also reminds me of a time of antiquity, which I guess Game & Watch is supposed to do. But you can argue that the black and white is more modern. Game & Watch is a weird one to rank. Especially at the end of the stream. I think I like where I put those. Alright, with that, we have now ranked every costume from every fighter who was introduced in Smash 64 and Smash Melee. Plus their echoes, because I've got all the echoes laid out in numerical order here. Does that mean I'm doing all the Brawl people on the next stream? Because that would mean going all the way from Meta Knight to Wolf. Oh, that would be doable. That is in fact exactly the same number of people that we did in this stream. It's 1 row plus 4 extras. It's perfectly exact. So I can definitely do all the Brawl in another stream. Smash 4 and Ultimate is where it gets a bit tougher, because then the roster basically doubles in size. Yeah, we've been doing echoes this whole time with Dark Samus, Lucina, Daisy, Braum. If we weren't doing echoes, then those characters would not have been ranked. But, you know, they have different costumes. So, yeah. Anyway. So, Saturday I'm doing the piano. Monday and Tuesday I'm finishing Luigi's Mansion. The rest of October after that is gonna be doing this until it's done. So, starting next Thursday, we're in for a ride. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks for coming out. See you around.